Hey everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the vlog. Now, in today's episode, I was going to be bringing you the first of the seat restoration that we're going to be doing on this TT. But unfortunately, I've had to change that, and the reason being is because the car failed its MOT. Yes, would you believe it? The car failed its MOT. And what's really extraordinary is that since owning this car, I bought this car a little over a month ago, a year ago, if that makes sense. So I bought it in January, and the car has done in a year 41 miles. That's it, 41 miles. In between the last MOT and this MOT, it's failed. So what did it fail on? Well, if you look on screen now, you'll see that it failed on the front suspension arm pin or bush, excessively worn near side and offside inner rear bushes. What does that mean? Well, basically it's the suspension arms, or the wishbones, or the chicken bones, or whatever you want to call them, the lower swing arms. So those have failed, and on the bushes, so we need to replace them. So I need to get that done, because otherwise I'm going to have to repay for a complete new MOT. So we're going to get them done today. And hats off. How is it that a car can fail an MOT after 41 miles and it's only been sitting in the garage? Well, the fact is that if you look at the history again, if you look on the screen, you'll see that in the last previous year, although it doesn't mention the front suspension arms, it mentions the rear suspension arms. They're basically corroded. That's the issue. And the front suspension arms were corroded as well. The car is, after all, coming up to 20 years old, and it's been hit and abused by salt and road muck, etc, etc, etc. So it's you know, without question, these things go into rot and give up the ghost after some time. So what's it like to replace the suspension arms or the swing arms on a 17-18 year old car? We're about to find out. Now, as you can imagine, it's going to be extremely corroded, extremely rusted parts, so we're going to have to do some penetrating oil on this one. So let's see the process and see how we get on. Okay, let's start off by jacking up the car so we can take off the wheels, and then we can take a look at the swing arms to see how bad they're bad. I know they're bad. So I've got some replacement ones, so let's get the car jacked up and then let's get them off. Okay, so looking at the swing arms, hopefully you can see, let's see if I can get you in closer. You can see why this one has failed the MOT. I mean, the rubber mount here is literally coming out. It's literally right out. That's a failure without a shadow of a doubt. Plus it's pretty corroded, but the corrosion itself wouldn't fail the MOT. It literally has to be that mount, and that one there is just really bad. And if I was an MOTer, I would be checking as to the other side as well to see the condition of that. Let's move that line, hopefully you can see that better. There you go. So yeah, that is a failure. Let's go and see what the other side looks like. Okay, so the other side isn't as bad as the one that we've just seen, but it isn't great either, and yeah, needs to be changed. Right, let's get them off. I'll show you one coming off. The other one is the same. I'm not going to rinse and repeat, but yeah, they definitely need to be replaced, so let's do that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is remove the 3 bolts that hold the hub to the swing arm. You need a 16mm socket for this. Then we're going to remove the rear mount of the swing arm, and you need an 18mm socket for that. So there's 2 bolts, one at the back, and also there's a nut on the top that you need to hold, as you can see me doing with the spanner. Then we've got one at the front here. Now I'm having to use an extension bar on this because the oil sump is in the way, but that will come off quite easier. And my trusty Makita impact wrench, if I didn't have this, it would have been a nightmare getting these bolts off because they were proper rusted on. But they come off okay with some lubricant and we're able to remove that and take it away, as you can see. Right, so we've got this side off. It didn't actually fight me too bad. Here's a good one, obvious, nice and painted and looks like brand new, and here's the old one. So the actual front mount is not too bad, but here you can see it's beginning to break down. The rubber here is starting to depreciate. It's just collapsing within itself. Here you can see that's proud. This bit here is sitting kind of proud. You can see that there. See that? Sitting proud. Whereas this one here, it's sunk in. In fact, it's come through the back. And when you look for the back, you see exactly the same thing. Whereas on the other side of this one, absolutely fine, as you expect, brand new. So you can definitely see where it's literally pushing the cap back up here. So the whole bearing, if you look at this here, you can see a silver outline. This is pressed in, heated and pressed into place. Now, and this one here, you can see that's actually coming out where the rubber has gone. So definitely needed to be replaced. The rust, this is just surface rust, it's fine, but here, that's where the problem is. Right, let's get this fitted and then we'll go and do the other side. Now this side, which I've just popped out, this is the other side, is a lot worse. As you can see, this whole rubber mount is actually squashed out of the seal, this bearing. So here's a good side, here's a good one, and as you can see, if I turn to the side, you can see nice and straight and intact. Here's the one I've just taken off. Turn to the side, you can see that is actually sticking out there, so that's not good. And down here it's sunk, and that's the reason why the car has essentially failed the MOT. You can see the MOT there was marked it up to show that it's significantly in a bad shape. So I'm going to put this one on, and then that should be it. And then we're going to take a look at some of the other issues that was picked up on the car.
A few moments later.
Right, so we've done both of the swing arms. They're both done. So there's the one on that side, all nicely done. Actually, this side wasn't so bad in the end. It came out really quickly. That side you saw me do. So that's good. That's that done. That's basically what the car failed the MOT. Now, there was a couple of other things that we're going to have a look at now. I'm going to grab my torch. Where's my torch gone? Look at that. Things always disappear when you want them. So one of the other things was the battery's loose, and yep, it clearly is loose. Now there's no reason why that shouldn't be holding, but let me get my torch. I can see it shining. There it is. Right, so why is this battery loose? Shouldn't be, unless I can see what it is. Battery's not in place properly. Look at that. It's supposed to hook in underneath there and it's not. Right, let's undo that bolt, put the battery in properly. Yeah. Now, they normally fail the MOT on this because the battery should always be secure, so that if you get into a crash, the battery doesn't come out of its mount and explode. I mean, most of the time these batteries break anyway, but that shouldn't be like that. So let's get that sorted and we can put that back in place. So battery's back in place properly, which is good. So this car is now ready for its retest. Simple as that. Now, while we're on the subject of cars, let me show you what I've done to the S3. Tell me what you think. Yes, the S3 has had its wheels painted. So what do you think of the colour? I actually now quite like it. Looks really good, and I am glad that you all disagreed with my choice of colours, because I think this now sets the car off. So hopefully that will put this to bed. Although there is one issue: them wheels are going to get scratched at some point. I'm going to curb them. I'm driving the car now, which is great, so mission accomplished. I got the car back from my wife, but at some point I'm going to curb those wheels, and on that day I am going to cry. Okay, so that was actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So we'll put the car in for the MOT and hopefully it will fail. Now, there's a couple of things that were mentioned on the MOT sheet as well, some advisories, and I'm going to take a look at those, but not obviously not in today's episode, but in a future, a very near future episode to come. If you look at the screen again, you will see that if there is a the near side rear light lens is cracked. That was me pushing on. I had to change the bulb, and on the TT, and this is a note to all you TT owners, you got these two twist lugs or twist knobs to release the light, and then there's like these two sockets that suck in. I thought you give it a whack. You don't give it a whack. You basically tighten it and it sucks it in. Okay, so if you don't want to break your lens like me, don't tap it and try and get it to go in, because it won't. Okay, what else do we have to sort out? It also mentions there the fuel tank cover is loose, and the near side shock dust cover is corroded, and in general corrosion underneath the vehicle. Plus the rear brake hose is slightly corroded. Okay, so on all of those things, what we'll do is we'll take a look and see how bad they are. If they are bad, I will replace them. But if it is just surface rust, and we'll clean it off and we'll take a good look, then we'll clean it up, give it a coat, and then protect it. The rust, the body on that car is not rusty, okay? Because TTs don't really rust unless it's the sill, so the outer seals, and those are just covers, by the way, the outer seals. You can actually buy replacements on eBay, of all places. But the suspension arms, those rust like anything. So you'll see a lot of owners take them apart and then give them a paint and then fit some nylon bushes in there. We're not going to do that on this car, because again, we just want to sell the car, but we want to sell it in good condition. So we'll take a look at those and then we'll see how it will go. So hopefully the car will pass its MOT. You'll find out during the week, and then next week we will get back to sorting out those seats. And finally we'll be doing some good things, some nice mods on that car. And before we finish though, shout out to Seaview MOT Centre. I take all of my cars there for MOTs, and why? Because Dale and his team are absolutely brilliant, very fair but very thorough. If there's an issue, he will fail the car, and rightly so. But he looks after all my vehicles and always manages to squeeze me in when I come very late. So thank you for that, Dale. Other than that, have a great week. Oh, don't forget, if you are a casual viewer, and so many of you are, don't forget to subscribe down here. Click on the bell notification. You're notified whenever we release a new video. And we will see you on the next one. Oh, one last thing. Don't forget, 30,000. If you're a casual viewer, become a subscriber, and you will qualify for our little diagnostic tool, our Foxwell tool that we're going to be giving away. Good stuff. That's it. Have a great one. See you in the next one.